MAAC Player of the Year, Liana Youngsone, leads a Siena team hungry for redemption. For Rosalie Mason and the #1 seeded Manhattan Jaspers, it's about fulfilling expectations. It's the 2003 EUS MAAC Championship next. This is the Sovereign Bank Arena in Trenton, New Jersey, and today it will host the 2003 MAAC Women's Championship, featuring the #1 seed Manhattan taking on the #2 seed Siena. Yesterday, the Saints of Siena played Niagara University in the second semifinal of the day. Siena jumped on Niagara early and often, faced by all MAAC players Liana Youngsone's 19 points and 9 boards, and Gunter Bosco, who added 16 and 9. The Saints won for the 24th time this season as they beat the Purple Eagles by 35 points, and today advanced to the championship game for the 5th time in the school's history. Manhattan got here by beating Canisius in one of yesterday's semifinals. The Jaspers broke open a close game in the second half, receiving big contributions from Rosalie Mason, who had 23 points and 14 rebounds, and the inspired play of Siobhan Kilkenny, who added 22 points. Manhattan won it by 14 and advances to today's championship game for the 5th time in the school's history. Let's take a look now at the Coach USA brackets. Siena had to beat Barris and Niagara to get here, while Manhattan just had to get by Canisius yesterday.
And hi, everybody. I'm Dean Darling, along with Cecilia DeMarco. And Cecilia, for the 3rd straight year, the #1 plays the #2 in a MAAC final.
Well, this is just going to be an unbelievable day. You have two teams that have split during regular season. They both share the title of co-champion. In 20 years of tournament play, they've met 4 times and stand 2-2. At the end of the day, we will finally have our #1.
When you talk about Siena, a team on a roll, they have won their last 10 in a row, and they've been getting real fuel from Jolene Johnston.
Well, Jolene became a starter on February 6th, and since then, Siena has rolled off 10 straight wins. The junior is quick and scrappy and energizes her team.
Recently, the leader for the Jaspers of Manhattan, that lady right there, Siobhan Kilkenny.
She had good reason to smile all day yesterday. The senior forward netted 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 steals. She's dangerous on both ends. Manhattan is hoping Siobhan has a repeat performance in her this afternoon.
Let's take a look now at the HSBC keys to the game. We start with Manhattan.
Well, Manhattan needs to defend in the paint. They must rebound, and they have to keep this game in the 60s. The Saints, on the other hand, they'll need to score inside, defend the drive, and they want to run. Get that score up high. They want it in the 70s at the end of the day.
Coming up next, our championship game from here in Trenton when we come back on the MAAC Television Network.
Finals of the 2003 EUS MAAC Women's Basketball.
Got it here. Are you listening to me?
You got it.
This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of Pepsi. GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. By HSBC, the world's local bank. FYE for your entertainment, music, movies, games, and more. And by JetBlue Airways. It's not the only way to fly, but it should be.
And welcome back to the finals of the 2003 EUS MAAC Women's Basketball Tournament, featuring the #1 seed Jaspers of Manhattan going up against the #2 seed Siena. Let's take a look now at today's starting lineups. Are brought to you by I Love New York. Show your love for New York State. And for the Saints, Johnston, we've highlighted her during the course of the Open. Bosco, Youngsone, Anderson, and Marquino round out the starting 5 for the Saints. Take a look now at the Jaspers. The team that went 13-5 in the regular season's co-champs in the back along with Siena. Rosalie Mason, what a tournament she's had already. Sura Sangar along with Sheddick, Bach, and Kilkenny. Manhattan's head coach in his 5th year. Siena coach in her 13th year is Gina Castelli. 226 career wins, a winning percentage of 61%. And there's Sal Pascala. He's the head coach for Manhattan, 5th year, with a record of 60 and 54. 19 wins this year. That's the most ever under head coach Sal Pascala. These two teams got here. Manhattan got here the easy way because they got the double bye into the championship game. Basically, they just had to win the semifinal against Canisius. Meanwhile, Siena had to play Friday against Mayerson and respond yesterday against Niagara.
And I'll tell you, Siena looked as if it was running on 100% fuel yesterday, Dean. They were just on fire from the get-go. Manhattan, on the other hand, had a little trouble early on with the Canisius squad, but then put them away late in the second half. And now you have two teams that are just, this whole thing about being number one is key. And I don't know, it's 6-1, half dozen to the other. Whoever comes ready to play today is going to walk away with a chance to represent the MAAC in the NC2A tournament. Someone has to step up and do the job.
Well, the Saints have blown people away here in the playoffs so far, averaging a 26-point spread over Marist and Niagara. As you see Jansone there in the huddle with Gunter Boschko. They are the leaders, and it'll be a war inside once again when you look at Rosalie Mason and Kilkenny of Manhattan.
Well, you have Rosalie Mason, who leads the league in both offensive and defensive rebounding. And you have Jansone, who leads the league in field goal percentage, and most of her scores are in the paint. It'll be interesting to see right now who they match up with whom. Is Rosalie Mason going to match up with Boschko, or is she going to match up with Jansone? We don't know if really Sarah Sanger can match up with Jansone in the middle. So that's a real key matchup to start the game. I would have to think that Siena is going to test that matchup early. And will we see Eve Walters come off the bench early in the game in place of Sanger just because they might need a taller presence?
Felicia Hall is the lady in the center of the court, and she's affiliated with the WNBA and the Charlotte Sting, and she'll be doing an honorary tip between Jansone and Mason, and then they will do it for real.
Well, I'll tell you, I bet she wishes that she could suit up. She was an incredible player for the University of Iowa, took them to the Final Four in the year that she did play, and now is just about to start her own business in player development.
Referee is Martinovich. He's joined by Bob McEntee and Phyllis Devaney. Jansone to go up against Mason for real this time. Thanks for joining us for the 2003 MAAC Women's Championship. It is controlled by the Jaspers. Bach along with Sheddick out there with Sangar, Mason, and Kilkenny. Mason, the leading scorer of the team, going hard to the iron.
And she's going to take it right to Johnston early on from the top of the key.
Saints 24-6 overall. If they win today, it will set a school record for wins. That's Johnston. Looking for Jansone, a nice check by Sangar.
And the things that they've done in the first two possessions were things that we felt in that both teams might start out the game with. Go inside and on Manhattan, drive to the basket.
Sheddick has a 3-look. Boschko had the clear and got pushed.
And Sanger may have come in to get the rebound and got a piece of her.
Good to Boschko has showed that that she's showing signs of breaking out here. She had a quiet season, but an effective year. But in the playoffs, she looks like her old self.
Well, I just think that there's been so much pressure put on her to repeat for the third time as the most valuable player. And her teammate received the award, and now I think she can just relax and play basketball.
The lady right there was the player of the year. Told to us on Friday. She's got pretty emotional during the ceremony.
She's a sweet kid. We interviewed her at the end of the game, and she is just a sweetheart.
Boschko gets the roll, and she has tied the game at 2.
I think we're going to see a lot and say a lot about Boschko today. I think the weight of being the most valuable player in the league is off her shoulders. Now she can just relax and play her game.
Recently in MAAC playoffs, the Saints have gone 7 up and 1 down. Sangar was trying to establish, but she was in there too long, a 3-second count.
That's a key matchup. Jansone is a better defender and I believe a really much stronger offensive player in the paint. And Siena is going to try to really take advantage of that mismatch early on and often in the game.
Johnston rebound there by Bach. They shut it. Off the leg of Boschko. Looks like Manhattan wants to push the tempo.
Well, Manhattan, if they're going to get opportunities to run off the boards, they'll take it. They'll use the clock when they don't get the rebound and they don't feel as if they have numbers. But when they have numbers, Dean, they'll run.
Slotted away in a post by Johnston.
And Johnson is really getting worked over with Rosalie Mason. Looks like the game plan is get the ball into Mason. Let's find out how good Jolene is on the day.
She looked good yesterday, that's for sure. She had 18 against Maris and 14 points and 9 boards in the semifinal win against Niagara yesterday. A leader inside by Bach.
And another drive to the basket. Siena's going to have to hold its ground against the dribble.
Anderson looking for an answer.
Anderson has sort of been the unsung hero in this tournament, and probably the unsung hero throughout the year. She quietly continues to lead this team at the point. Very few mistakes, hits the three when she needs to, and will take a drive. She's had just a fabulous career for the Saints.
She's the all-time leader in three-pointers made. She knocked down one yesterday.
And an uncharacteristic miss at the foul line. She shoots about 83% in the year.
She breaks the tie, 4-3 Jaspers. Early stages, the first half, nearly 2.5 going by. Bach, open alley. Jansone for another rebound. Boschko for the three. Boschko had a good look out there on the wing. We saw her knock one down from straight ahead yesterday.
Yeah, she'll get plenty of looks. I don't know. Kilkenny gives up a couple of inches defensively, and Mason has picked her up on a couple of occasions. So they'll switch off people against her all day.
Kilkenny denied. Sheddick can hit it from there. Jansone has her second rebound. Natalie Marquino. Tipped away by Kilkenny. That's a great matchup right there. Johnston and Kilkenny. 10 on the shot clock. Rotation inside for Johnston.
Johnson and Kilkenny will bat all day, but Kilkenny gives a couple of inches up on her, and Johnson might want to post her up.
With the steal, Johnston. And a clamp was called on Sangar.
That's one way to stop her.
See Sal Piscalia there.
Well, you see these two teams and how they match up against one another. Both conference co-teams split the season, and in the fifth meeting, someone is going to break this tie, and someone is going to walk away finally and be able to say, we're number one.
Good to Boschko, a little leaner inside. Puts her team out in front, 7-4. Boschko on the year, averaged 13.7 a game, second best to Jansone. She had 16 in the win against Niagara yesterday. Mason for the foul line.
And look at Mason almost come from nowhere to pick that up.
Anderson, the lead for Jansone. Now to set it up once again. Marquino is a junior from Switzerland. And a rip by Sheddick. Sheddick got to the hoop in a hurry.
Well, Sheddick has been quiet, and Kilkenny comes up with a big steal. This is how the Jaspers can hurt you, boy. Just when you think you've got them playing your pace, they step up and do something defensively.
Forced away by Anderson. And they tie it up. 15:21 left here in the first half. Close one. Saint 7 and Atten 6. We'll be back to Trenton after this on the MAAC Television Network. Manhattan and Siena, that's what they're trying to work for today. After 40 minutes of action, somebody will claim that piece of hardware.
Well, it's worth playing for. It's worth playing hard for. If you were a boxer right now and you had a first round and you just finished it, you'd look up at the scoreboard and say, hey, this is a draw. First 5 minutes, and we've just got ourselves a 1-point ball game. I have a sense that we're going to feel that way after every 5-minute mark today.
Yeah, we sensed in the 2 games we saw yesterday, sometimes teams will get tight just prior to the game. I haven't seen that.
No, I think these 2 teams were well prepared for what was to happen from the very start of the game.
Saints lead at 7-6, their possession. Last year they went 23-7, and already a better mark this year at 24-6.
And a very uncharacteristic move that we just saw, that Manhattan dropped back into a 2-3. Don't see that very much. Maybe they're trying to challenge and see if Siena isn't shooting the shot very well.
Sheddick bodies up. How about Jansoni stepping outside?
Well, she's got the ability to shoot the 3, so you can't leave her alone very much anywhere.
Mason posting. Always gets that ball in a hurry after a miss. Kilkenny. She pursues the basketball.
Well, they rebound. They're going to the offensive boards. One of the keys in the game was would they be able to rebound with the Siena team that is a very strong offensive rebounding team. They have the best rebounder in the league. They are not, however, the best rebounding team in the league.
Overplay by Johnston, too aggressive.
Well, take a look down this end. Jansoni just standing on the outside, waiting for the ball. Shoots the 3. I think they'll come out of that zone.
Team fouls. Manhattan with 3, and the Saints just with 1. Christine Bach. Been a 4-year player from Floral Park, New York. A kick, and they'll reset it once again.
Johnson has a way of looking at the official. We noticed all day yesterday, she just stares them down. Doesn't do it in a way that they'll be upset with her, but boy, she lets them know with a glance that she didn't like the call.
And we were remarking about that with the ponytail, flag it in the end, a nice smile. She kind of flutters up to it. Plays with so much heart and desire. Shorty Reed's checked into the lineup, wearing number 4. Let's see with the basketball. She'll give you energy off the bench. Kilkenny, hard drive.
And McKissick is also in, so we've got some changes, both teams.
1-point game once again. Anderson with Marquino, Jansoni, Johnston, and Boschko, the original cast that started today. Mason tried to save. This Saint team scored 91 points yesterday against Niagara. That's a season high for them.
They were on fire. They just couldn't miss, and they were doing it, running and hitting 3s. Now we have a little bit of a change. I bet you Shorty Reed has sort of prompted that, and Kraft coming in for her. I wouldn't imagine that they might switch up, or that Kraft will pick up Kilkenny, who's driven a couple of times.
The rip by Mason. Sheddick. Walters on the left. And Boschko clamped on it.
Well, Walters has added some real depth inside to this team. You know, she just played in 16 games this year because she was overseas the first half of the semester and has come back and really helped this team down the stretch.
They did not think she was coming back. They didn't even put her in the media guide.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they found a jersey for her right away.
Yeah. Had a walk there on the end line.
She's sporting quite a shiner. We saw her get that in the Iona game, and
a week ago today.
Yep. Hasn't gotten much better either.
4th time in 5 years, the Saints here at the championship game. They're 1 up and 2 down. Losing last year in the championship tilt in Albany. Blocked there by Walters. She leads him in that category.
Walters did a good job there. She did not commit to the block too soon. You'll see it here. The drive, Kraft comes down, and she defends Jansoni and then steps up, reaches, and hits the ball. Nice block on her part.
Anderson. And an easy putback.
Jansoni gets a lot of second shot opportunities.
Checked out there by Sarah Kraft, who just checked in earlier. Kilkenny out there, Sheddick, Mason with Reed and Walters now for Manhattan. These 2 teams tied each other for the co-championship of the regular season, both at 15-3. But the Saints came down to Manhattan last week of the season and beat Manhattan to set up that tie. A senior, Erica Anderson. She's been in many a big game.
Well, she sure has. She's been starting for 4 years, and she will be sorely missed next year at the point.
Fade there by Kraft. Jansone hammered in the act with one coming away.
She seems to be in the right place at the right time. She gets to the offensive glass, and she shoots 60% from the floor. 60% yesterday as well, just puts it up. In that last week of the season, Dean, before they started tournament play, she was player of the week. She shot 80% from the floor and 100% from the foul line. How much better can you get?
You can't. 3 straight years she has led the MAAC in field goal percent. This year at 60%. The spread now for the Saints as they lead it by 6. Reed with the fist in the left arm.
He's going to try to take Anderson one-on-one if they can.
Kilkenny. Off Walters, out of bounds.
Kilkenny has a great first step.
11 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the first half. They were festive at the start of today's game. We'll be back with the MAAC Television Network. Good game so far. No, that's just... HSBC is proud to sponsor the HSBC Family Section. HSBC salutes the MAAC and today's families in attendance. HSBC, the world's local bank. Decent gathering for a noontime start on a Sunday.
Well, Siena's brought some fans, a real vocal group, and can't tell though, both teams wear green, so you don't really look. You have green seats and everybody's in green, so it's hard to tell who's got the greatest numbers.
So far, shooting percentages, Manhattan just at 33%, and Siena has knocked down 6 of 11 shots for 54.5%. They currently lead it by 6. Another whistle. As Reed got tied up that time with McKissick.
McKissick picked that up, and you know, the Jaspers are coming out in full course, challenging everywhere. They're face guarding. Siena's going to have to go back door a little bit if they're going to make it good. You see the shot selections here. Both teams shooting about the same amount of shots. Siena just making good in a few more.
And nobody's made a 3 yet. Rebounds 9-4. Siena right there. Kilkenny. And she got uncorked on that one.
Well, 2 people have tried to defend her, and they got Kilkenny has taken Kraft to the cleaners, and she really took Jolene Johnson to the cleaners. So it looks as if Kilkenny's going to do a whole lot of driving today. And with the way she played yesterday, it's like, give this kid the ball. She's doing it.
She had 22 points and 9 boards in the win against Canisius. They beat the Griffs 71-57. Jaspers in the MAAC this year won 15 of the 18 battles, and on the road they won 8 of 13. They had a 13-game win streak going towards the end of February, and Siena came into their house on February the 25th and beat them by 12.
Well, they split at each other's home courts, which was very unusual that Siena dropped one at home, and then Manhattan dropped one at home. And they were both pretty good contests. The score at the Manhattan game, you know, really didn't indicate that it was a much closer ball game than it appeared. The finish was 12, but it was really played within 2.
Yatsone's got her 9th point and another walk. Natalie Marquino coming back in for the Saints as Walters will set up defensively.
And Wilson's in the game, and Wilson from Manhattan did a terrific job yesterday in the second. She didn't play until the second half, and she really altered the game with some of the things that she did on the offense and defensive end.
Yes, all those things you just don't see in the box score. She played 13 minutes, had only 2 points, but was very active on both ends. Anderson getting all kinds of pushes from defenders.
Well, they're not giving anyone an inch on defense. Now, we're taking a look at the #1 defensive team in the MAAC, giving away just 58 points a ball game. And I'll tell you what, you can see why. And scoring defense, remember that this Manhattan team is the 21st team in the NC2As in terms of its rating. So we're talking about a legitimate defensive team that makes teams make mistakes.
Sal Pascala's got his team in a championship game for the first time under his tenure. Year number 5 for him. He had stops at the University of Buffalo and Hilbert Junior College, Hamburg, New York, before coming to Riverdale.
And he's done a nice job. In 5 years, he rebuilt the Manhattan program. Each year, his team got a little bit better. Last year, got them to the semis. The year before, won their first game. And now here they are, co-champions with a chance to take a championship ring home.
John Sunday's playing a great half so far. Another rebound. 10 minutes old. 16-10. Saints. Ball reversal here by the Saints. There's the skip for Kraft. Challenging the big people. Boschko will clear by Walters.
And that zone is giving fits to Siena.
And the trip by Anderson.
And that's a call that you hate to see made, but it has to be made. It's not intentional. You know, they're running with one another, and someone just takes a foot. And you see it here. Anderson just steps in with her foot, trips her up, and Shorty Reed was on her way to the basket. Stopped her from scoring, too.
Johnston checks back in for Coach Castelli. Popping out is Kilkenny. Castlebar, Ireland, their hometown. Another pass deflected.
Kilkenny's just driving to the baseline today. She's got that great little first step, and they don't want to give her the look at the basket because she can shoot the outside shot. So she's taking the cleaners inside.
Mason cups inside. She gets turned to the side there. She knifes nicely.
She just has got great body control when she moves her feet. You don't see that often, and she is beautiful to watch.
And the other key is to watch her on the release of the shot, and she'll track it down on the miss.
She literally runs in the air to get there. I mean, it's hard to describe it. This kid does it all.
Saints lead it by 4, looking for some more. Boschko off the screen there by Jansone. Anderson now for Marquino. Marty Novich is today's referee as he makes that call.
And he was in one of the semifinal games yesterday. Does a good job. I'll tell you, the officials have done a good job in all the games that we've done. They've not factored in at all. And when you don't notice them, and you can say, gee, I think they did the game yesterday, you know that they've done a good job.
Gina Castelli in her 13th year. She's got them on a roll of late the last couple of years. 47-13, their aggregate record.
Well, you know, they've only won the championship away from home. They've lost in the Pepsi Arena a number of years. And part of that, Dean, I think that a coach will tell you that you have so many distractions when you are at home in a big game. And when you come to an arena where no one really can distract you, you can focus on the things you need to do to get ready for a game. I think that this bodes better for her than being at home.
Mason tracked it down. Shot clock starts again. Jaspers last year went 18-11. In fact, they won 12 of 18 downs, improving by 3 games this year. Mason puts it in again.
She's just shooting over people right now. You know, and they're getting to loose balls much more quickly than Siena is, and they've closed the gap now.
3-point game, 6 on the board for Rosalie Mason. Kilkenny and Johnston getting physical.
And Kilkenny's clapping her hands. Come on, come on. She wants this one, and her team is beginning to respond.
Saints get the ball in the arrow. Check it, Manhattan.
Now remember, this is the Saints' 3rd game, and this is just the Jaspers' 2nd game because of the tournament structure this year.
We thought we saw Canisius hit the wall yesterday in the second half. As play stop for a second. We've got 7:58 left here in the first half. Saints 17, Jaspers 14. We'll return to Trenton after this on the MAAC Television Network. JetBlue MAAC upcoming telecast brought to you by JetBlue Airways. It's not the only way to fly, but it should be. Here's what we have planned for you. Niagara will take on Manhattan in the men's bracket tonight at 6 on MSG, and then on the Empire Sports Network. That game will be on a tape delay basis after the Buffalo Sabres Tampa Bay Lightning hockey game. And then number 3, Siena versus number 2, the Stags of Fairfield, 8:15 on MSG. Play the championship game on ESPN, 7 o'clock Monday night. $7:58 left here in the first half. Saints leading by 3. They've led by as many as 6 in this contest. Championship game of the 2003 MAAC Women's Final. A little trip there by Marquito. I would like to take a moment to say hello to our viewers on the MSG Network and the Empire Sports Network. Thanks for joining us here for our noontime tip-off in Trenton, New Jersey.
Pretty obvious that the game plan for Manhattan has been to attack with a dribble, get to the basket. We've seen all but Walters take the ball to the hoop. So Wilson did a good job. I think she may have injured her hand a little bit then. She's going to see a training when she gets to the bench.
Kilkenny gets it out front now to Reed. They're joined by Walters, Sheddick, and Mason. Mason back cut, losing Johnston in the process.
And that was just a clinic on the backdoor cut.
Another foul called. And there you see Shorty Reed getting involved.
Take a look here, and this is as pretty a cut. They send one cutter through. She comes, the second cutter comes through. Mason finishes it off. Jolene Johnson really got caught trying to jump up in the passing lane.
In the 2 games this year, Mason averaged 22 points and 9.5 rebounds against the Saints. Sheddick open for the 3. 1-point game. Marquino wide open. Kilkenny kept it alive. Reed almost came out of her shoes.
Yeah, Reed tripped over. She's going so quick, she tripped over her own feet. Now this is going to be a nice little matchup. Lyons is an exciting point guard for the Saints. She and Reed are the only 2 players that can look each other eye to eye on the court. And she's a player, and she's be fun to watch in the future.
Got that gold headband on. Yesterday it was white. She's coordinated with her colors. Huh?
She brings it down so you think she can't see.
Erica Anderson on the touch-up. Anderson for 3. Our first triple of the ball game.
Well, Siena has to start to shoot well on the outside because that's where they're getting shots.
Kilkenny, too strong. These 2 teams have never faced each other in the championship game. But in MAAC regular season, postseason games, 1 up and 2 down for the Saints against them. Kilkenny joined by Sheddick and Reed. Up front, Walters and Mason round up in 5. Mason, bicycle around the corner.
Just poetry in motion when she moves. She is just so fluid.
2-point game. Under 6 left here in the opening half. Sone sets for 3.
Minnesota's been a bit quiet in this last 5-minute stretch.
Lead for Walters to fill and score. Tied at 20. Timeout from the Siena bench.
And you can feel the momentum shift a little bit. Good timeout on Siena's coaching staff. You see the long pass here. Schittig looks down and throws a pass that Gunter almost gets a piece of. And good hands on Walters' part, finishes it off, lays it up. Looked like a guard, not a 6'2" player running on the catch.
First two of the day for E. Walters.
Well, you know, that's what the Manhattan team does so well. They'll run when you give them an opportunity, but when you don't give them the opportunity, they'll set up their offense. They're doing a nice job backdoor cutting, and they're doing an exceptional job. And really a key to the game is taking them on the dribble to the basket. Siena's going to have to make a little bit of an adjustment here. If you sag off a little bit, not be so hard on the perimeter, and really give them a look at the outside. They're not a great outside shooting team.
So some celebrations going on there by the mascots. It's been a fun weekend here.
It really has. And Trenton's done a wonderful job with this tournament. They have an exciting venue. That they've wonderful people around you doing a terrific job with it. I hope we get them back here at some time.
Deadlocked at 20. 4-0 run. Getting Manhattan back into the lead. Saints have posted 3 straight years of 20-plus wins. Pino, a nice move.
One of the few times Kilkenny will get beat on drive.
Kilkenny go the other way. Kilkenny shoots 68% of the regular season at the free throw line, and she was named to the second team All-MAAC on Friday.
And she's had just a killer tournament. And in the 2 games that we've seen her, this being the second of them, she's come out prepared and ready to play. She's a senior. She's seen this team take all the steps to take them where they are, and she wants to take the next step.
Things didn't start well for the Jaspers at the outset of the season. They opened up 0-2. They had to make that tough trip to Niagara and then over to Canisius, drop them both. Where did they respond after that? Winning 15 of their last 16. The only loss was to the Saint team.
Well, Coach sat them down and asked them what it was they wanted to do. Kilkenny comes up with another big steal.
She had 5 yesterday.
She sees the passing lane and steps in just at the right moment.
Walters skips to the iron. And the Saints are down by 2. Four and a half left of the first 20.
Going to be an offensive call. Erica Anderson took the elbow and shoved on it, and Schittig kept her stance where it should be.
But she knew it right away.
Yeah, she's got great footwork, though. You watch her defend on the court. Her feet are always, her shoulders are always within her feet. She never moves outside of them.
Walters. McKissick has the clear. Here's the kick for Anderson for the tray. Moscow got sandwiched by her own player, Johnston. Kilkenny with the behind-the-back maneuver.
What a move, and she is smiling.
Coming back the other way defensively.
She must have a twin because she is all over that court.
As they pick her up and put her back together. 3:43 left here in the first half. Jaspers on a roll, lead by 4. We're back on the MAAC Television Network.
What are those stories?
That about people.
Let's try an interval of about 15 milliseconds, because that's half of what the PISA was getting.
The aspects of the retreat, like you talked about friendship.
Also about what that knowledge means for the human spirit. I know that students are concerned about
it. This game is brought to you in part by Coach USA, the best way to see New York City. By the New York Lottery. New York Lotto gives you 2 games for $1, so play today. Hey, you never know. I love New York. Show your love for New York State. And by Continental Airlines. Work hard, fly right.
Back here in Trenton, the championship game, Manhattan leads over Siena 26-22. On Friday, the MAAC handed out several awards. One of those awards was the MAAC Rookie of the Year. Let's find out this year's winner. Back to live action. Inbound for the Saints. Leading by as many as 6, but right now they're down here by 4. Nice roll by Manhattan. Late stages of the first half. Jansoni posting, scoring, and Walters on the flip.
I was just about to say, too, Dean, that Jansoni's been quiet, but Walters had done a very nice job against her defensively, and she hadn't been seeing the basketball.
A concerned Gina Castelli, winningest coach in Siena history. And the conventional three-point play makes it a one-point game. Shorty Reed, hawked there by Lyons.
And now you see what Siena is trying to do is back up a little bit and really play a matchup where they give them space and they want them to take looks at the basket. I think this is a really good move.
Kenny uses a lot of time on the inbound. Kenny already with 8 points in the ballgame. Mason leads him with 10. Reed blocked by Boschko.
Boschko did a nice job giving her space on the drive.
Here's the push for Lyons. And Reed comes in the back door. The lead for Shettick.
Team is running and they're making use of mistakes.
Jaspers claim a three-point edge with 2:40 left here in the first half. He'll get it. Johnston sealed off that time.
What I'm amazed at is how quickly they recover from when they try to steal the basketball.
Ripped by Kilkenny. Lyons and Reed. Who's going to win?
Well, a sophomore got her that time, didn't you? Actually, Lyons, you'll see here that on the steal, Reed will get the outlet pass. Kilkenny again involved in it. Reed takes the ball strong with the right. Lyons tries to get up, gets her at the body, really almost had altered the flight of the ball and just fell.
And Shorty Reed will try to complete a three-point play. Biggest edge of the game for the Jaspers at 5. Make it 6. So both teams now have had 6-point leads.
Both teams really prepared to play this ball game. Shettick is a defensive clinic in the way that she really defends a player.
Johnston curled it in somehow.
Well, she's their warrior. She goes out there and she makes things happen. She energizes the team. And since her insertion into the lineup, this Siena team has done great things.
We remarked yesterday how she started most of last year, but was relegated to the bench this year. And now just doing a great job here at the tail end of the season with all those starts. Shot clock is at 4 seconds. Too much from Mason.
And just as we talked about her energy on both ends of the court, Jolene Johnson takes the charge in Mason's drive. I think the adjustment that Siena has made by stepping off a little bit has really helped. And this is an uncharacteristic, unforced error on Siena's part.
A foul earlier on Mason, number 1. And a timeout will come now from the Manhattan bench. Sal Pascal seemed a little cooler today. I thought he was really tight yesterday before the game.
Oh, when I shook his hand was so wet. It was like, you know, Sal, you're a little nervous here. And he kept talking about, of course, the upcoming birth of his grandchild and how he was so excited and things were coming together personally and professionally for him. How proud he was of his team. You take a look at Manhattan started out 3-8, finished 16-1, really almost ran the table. And you see that's lost to Siena way back in February, at the latter part of February. And Siena then really on that win really felt for the first time, I believe, all year that they were where they wanted to be. And they have had just a great 2 weeks of basketball. So they're playing their best basketball coming in. And the coaches from Manhattan have been able to get this team ready to play today.
Poor inbound.
And another steal.
They let him play on.
Well, they're going to let him play today. And this is the kind of team that both teams like and go after the loose ball. They go after everything strong. And you don't want to see your better players have to sit down because of foul trouble. So I really applaud the officials. They're letting the kids play. You're going to get the best kids are going to stay on the court. The best team's going to win it.
Popping out Walters. That brings Jansoni out from the bucket. Too much by Mason to travel.
And again, Siena really needs to adjust. They have to step back when Mason has the ball. She is not going to shoot the ball from the outside. The place that she kills you is when she puts the ball down. Challenge her ability to shoot from the outside. And Johnson really has to hear that message, or Mason will really take advantage of her.
Every inbound attempt is contested by both teams.
They contest every pass in the perimeter and every pass coming in from out of bounds.
Manhattan is the #1 ranked team in the back in defense, giving up only 58.3 a game. Yesterday they gave up 57 in a win against Canisius. Under a minute to play here at the half. Johnston ducked it in.
It went by first Kilkenny and then pumped and got Mason to come off of her feet.
2-point game. 15-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Reed saw an alley. Four-point spread, Jaspers. Final 10 of the half. Lions deep. Mason secures. They still can get an ample shot up. Walters. That would have brought the house.
Boschko just picked up her second foul on that. And they went the length of the court, 6.5 seconds, got a shot off, had the opportunity to three-point play, and still have almost a second left on the clock.
How intense is that lady?
Oh, I tell you, when we interviewed her at the end of the game, tried to congratulate her about the great finish, all she could start to think about at that point, she'd already shifted gears and started to think about Manhattan.
I swore she was looking right through you.
Yeah, she thought it was. She asked me about the Manhattan game, what I thought, and I just sort of wanted to just say, Gina, let's talk about this game.
This is an interview, Gina. We need to proceed. Mason checks out to avoid a foul problem. 8/10 of the second remaining here at the half. Jaspers have extended to 5.
Walters is not a bad foul shooter, but just is able to knock down one.
Manhattan halfway to the championship. A 5-point lead against the Saints of Siena. We'll be back with our halftime after this on the MAAC Television Network.
From the floor of the New York Stock Exchange to the top of the Empire State Building, New York City is celebrating 150 years of Manhattan College.
It's a college in the city. A college in the country.
It's big.
It's small.
It's modern.
Traditional. It's Frisbee on the quad. It's big-time basketball at the Garden. Manhattan College. It's the best of all worlds.
No wonder New York City loves Manhattan. Come join the celebration of 150 years of Manhattan College.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I got cords coming out. Manhattan at the break leads by 5 over the #2 seeded Saints of Siena, 34-29. Saints gained control of the game about the midpoint, but a big roll at the end by the Jaspers caught them and went ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been first 10 minutes, it was all Siena. They looked as if they were in complete control of the game. Second 10, the defense of Manhattan just tightened it up, started to overplay in passing lanes, took everything away. And I'll tell you, it's been all Manhattan in the last 10. Siena must defend the drive more effectively than it's doing. They're just going, Manhattan guards and Manhattan big people are going right down the heart of the paint and scoring. If that doesn't stop, then Siena's going to come out on the negative end of this. That has to stop soon. They have to give them space. Let them challenge them by shooting the outside shot. If they don't, then you're going to see Manhattan represent this conference.
It's been a good time since Thursday here at the MAAC Women's Tournament. And we take a look now at the MAAC Women's Brackets, brought to you by Coach USA, the best way to seed New York City.
Well, it all started 2 days ago in Loyola and Marist. You saw Marist take the first game and lose to Siena by 17 in the second game, 17. And Siena, with that big push in the third game, or in the second game, comes out again, 91 points to get to the finals. Ryder and Fairfield. Fairfield came through. Niagara upsets Fairfield, goes on to face Siena, and again the big mismatch yesterday. You saw again start of the week Canisius and Iona coming back. Canisius, St. Peter's, big upset. Boy, first time in a long time we haven't seen St. Peter's make its move to the semifinals. Manhattan slaps Canisius yesterday by 14 to find its way to the championship round. Here we go, 1 and 2, the way it should be.
At the half once again, Jaspers lead 34-29 over the Saints. We'll be back for our halftime after this on the MAAC Television Network. At the break, Manhattan 34, the Saints 29 here in the MAAC Women's Championship game. And on Friday, the MAAC handed out several awards, and some of those awards included first-team all-conference members in the MAAC. Let's find out this year's selections.
The Pepsi Women's Player of the only automatic in the paint, but her 9 rebounds per game was good for 3rd in the league. Looking to make it a three-peat, Liena was 2001 Rookie of the Year and 2002 6th Player of the Year. From Siena College, Liena Jansson. From St. Peter's College, Lindsay Gonzalez. The 5'4".
Halftime, getting ready for the second half. Manhattan leads 34-29 over the Saints of Siena.
And take a look, does defense matter? It's been all about defense. The number 1 team is holding a strong Siena scoring team to just 34% from the floor, 42%. This has just been all defense. And in the first 10 minutes of play, it was all Siena. Jolene Johnston has 2 of her 6 there. You see Ansoni take an outside shot. She had 12 and a half. If Mason comes back in the last 10, driving to the basket. Mason has 10 points for the game. Bach gets in the action. Everybody's driving at the defense, putting the ball inside. But it was all triggered by the big girl's block. Eve Walters comes, starts it all happening. Sarah Pass ends up on the ground with it. Eve Walters has 5 points and 1 big block for the game.
Ready for the second half throw-in. Johnston out there with Anderson, Jansone. Marquino and Bosco join them. Saints are 3-5 this year when they trail at the break. Jansone went hard. New opportunity here for the Saints.
And Manhattan coming out in that zone, challenging the ability of Siena to hit the long shot.
There's a long shot. Bosco bangs it. Only the second 3 in a ball game, and both have come courtesy of the Saints.
And Bosco's been fairly quiet.
Bosco now with 7 in the ball game. Sheddick got inside.
And they're just driving right at the defense, both from the baseline and in the heart of the defense at the cage.
Little hand-to-hand combat between Kilkenny and Johnston, and Kilkenny on the call. Inbound situation.
Manhattan back in that player-to-player. On a make, they go player-to-player, and missed it. They're going back into the zone, trying to stop that run a little bit.
Johnston. Ed Mason. She had 5 first-half rebounds. Just saw Kilkenny go down across the lane. And Bosco on a foul.
Our first 2 minutes of the second half really are key minutes in terms of who's come out ready to go. Looks like both teams are going to get called on an offensive here. Johnson again gives that trademark look to the official as if to say in nice language, what are you, crazy? You take a look here, and the nice spin move. Johnson comes, and there's a little bit of theatricals on that part, but the official called it their way.
Each team with a team foul here to start the second half. Really played a minute 45.
And Anderson backing off a little bit.
Mason to post on Jansone.
Mason a little quicker, but Jansone has that good reach with her arms and will alter shots a little bit.
Jansone had 6 caroms in that first half. She was heard from early, but then kind of faded during the course of the half.
Well, they put so much pressure on the perimeter, they couldn't really see her free.
And a lost ball right there.
And they're just, what's happening with Manhattan is their defense is so hard on the ball and in the passing lane that they're extending Siena's offense a bit. And now the only way Siena can get the ball is to go back door a little bit more, much like what Manhattan has done.
Kenny turns the corner. Little magic and run. She brought that up from the floor.
She has just had a yeoman. Yeah, look at her. Up, pump fake, tosses it up. This is something you do in the playground. Everybody gives you points. She gives you the pump fist, and she's right at the foul line. She's had a great tournament, though, hasn't she? She's already got 10 points. She's shooting 50% from the floor, and she has 5 rebounds in the game. And comes up with another board.
Another opportunity. Kilkenny. That's a good possession for her.
Now she's touching. She's smiling again. Yeah, every time we talked a little bit yesterday, she loves the game. She loves to smile when she plays.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Jaspers at 8. Too much.
And Eve Walters, in the 15 minutes of the first half and the first few minutes of the second half, has done a great job on that zone. She really has done a wonderful job in her post defense.
Timeout comes from the St. bench as they face the biggest deficit in the ball game at 8. It is time now for the Broadway Marketing's mind-bending trivia. Broadway Marketing, mind-bending branded solutions. Where and when was the first joint MAAC men's and women's tournament held? I'll give you a hint. It's not the same name as it used to be.
And it's not, well, I'll tell you what, I'd give it away if I gave what kind of a drink it was.
That's not fair. I'll give you the answer in just a little bit. This is a troubled time right now for the Saints.
Well, you know, I thought they would come out in the second half and really just sag off a little bit and get Siena to get Manhattan to take some outside shots. That hasn't happened, Dean. They continue to play hard-nosed defense in the perimeter. And again, Kilkenny's just leading the charge by going to the basket strong.
Still have a lot planned for you. The JetBlue MAAC upcoming telecast brought to you by JetBlue Airways. It's not the only way to fly, but it should be. Niagara and Manhattan. Get together at 6 o'clock on MSG and a tape delay there on the Empire Sports Network. And number 3 Siena versus number 2 Fairfield, 8:15 on MSG. MAAC championship game tomorrow night, ESPN at 7 o'clock.
And all the men's championship seeds have stayed alive. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are still there.
And that's been a great tournament. Closely contested games throughout. Sheddick for Walters, filling the lead, scoring. They take it away. It's a player control.
And the coaches in the sideline are just like crazed about it because they feel that Gunther stepped in. And you hear the crowd, but you see it here. Walters gets the pass. Gunther slides over. Gunther's got position. And she does a good job by going down on her butt to show the official that she was hit.
Breaking the pressure. Marquino. Bosco spun to the baseline, and Mason just picked up the foul. The number 2.
Marquino saw that she had the lead. So Kenny tried to go for the steal in the backcourt. Marquino did the smart thing, got the ball up. Nice pass in the middle on the other side.
Bosco on the year made 77% of her opportunities.
She didn't even catch the rim on that one. She struggled a little bit at the line. She'll have to make this one to get her confidence back.
Ribbed out. Mason looked like she hopped.
You can call it a jump ball, yeah. Tell you, if it's not Bosco, if it's not Kilkenny, it's Mason that's doing the damage. The two of them have put on an absolute show in the last 2 ball games.
It's really a big possession, even though there's plenty of time left in the half. They could open it up to 10. And that won't occur just yet.
Siena just doesn't seem to have that spark that they had yesterday, do they? They just seem to be a little lethargic, and it's been all Manhattan, and the defense has triggered everything.
You see anything as far as them playing a couple games already?
You know, I think that a 3rd game is a tough game, but you know these kids have been here before. This is not new to them. Look at this outlet. Bosco saved a short 2-pointer on that one.
She got after it. And she's talking to her teammates right now.
I think that Manhattan has hung its hat all year on its ability to defend. And they've got great pride in it. And the coaching staff has done a wonderful job teaching the concepts. And defense wins championships.
Sheddick. Bosco another rebound. Last opportunity for Bosco to claim a championship. He's a senior from Latvia. Popping out Marquino. Bosco went for the big one.
They're calling a double. They're calling a double.
Walters and Jansone went down heavily.
They're calling a double foul. They're trying to clean up the post work. And I'll tell you, when Jansone throws Walters to the ground, Walters gets the brunt of it.
That was a major takedown. 15:44 left here in the second half. 8-point advantage for the Jaspers as it's getting physical in Trenton.
I just wanted to see it. Remember how many fouls Jansone had. Just how many fouls Jansone had.
8-point lead for the Jaspers of Manhattan. And the other day, the MAAC announced the New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete of the Award. Let's find out who won. Ball inbound at the crap. This is Kilkenny for the lead out now for Fox.
Well, now with Walters having picked up the 4th foul of the game and with a little more than 15 left, Sanger is going to have to come up big on the defensive end.
Mason with a step. Rattles it in. She's got 12 in the ball game to match Kilkenny's 12. biggest lead at 10. And Castelli has seen it up.
Yeah, right now, they can take advantage of Walters not being in the court and get back to getting the ball inside. But the defense that Manhattan has displayed today has been so disruptive, Dean, that Siena is searching. He's searching for ways to get points.
Seal, earlier on the Broadway Marketing's Mind-Bending Trivia, we asked where and when was the first joint MAAC men's and women's tournament held? Seal, the nice lady she is, threw out a little hint. You can drink it. It's now the Pepsi Arena, formerly the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany. And ironically enough, the Saints never won a postseason tournament in their own house. 8 times they tried.
And, we talked earlier about sometimes the distractions of playing at home in a big tournament situation. Coaches would prefer to have their teams isolated and just control what they can do during that day and evening. And it has worked to the disadvantage of Siena every time it's been in the finals.
Johnston. And Kilkenny comes back in the lead for Sangar. Trailer is setting. Wisely brings it out. First time we've seen a double-digit lead in the game. Mason with a 12-point lead now.
And Jansoni cannot defend the quicker Mason in the paint. No way. They're going to have to change that matchup a little bit.
The officials communicate, and they wave it the way of Manhattan.
And I'll tell you, Kilkenny is just yelling at everybody. She is wanting this trophy. I'll tell you, she's screaming at Mason. She's screaming at Shetting to just get in this thing.
Last opportunity for her to take the hardware home. Hey fans, the 2003 MAAC Hockey League Championship hits the ice March 21st and 23rd, and it happens at Army's Tate Rink in West Point, New York. All session passes are affordably priced at $12. And for you to check out that 2003 MAAC Hockey League Championship, all you have to do is call 877-TIX Army. Also, the 2003 Golf Championship is back at Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex down there in sunny Orlando, Florida, April 25th through the 27th at Disney's Magnolia Golf Course. Contact Anthony Travel at 1-800-736-6377. Go there at the bottom of the screen to www.anthonystravel.com. Dean Darling and Cecilia DeMarco with 14:35 left for the second half. We've got a good one going on in Trenton, New Jersey. That lady's enjoying herself. Finals of the 2003 EUS MAAC Women's Basketball Tournament. It was a 5-point game at halftime favoring the Jaspers, but now they've extended here in the first 5.5 minutes to 12.
Well, it's been all defense, and they have taken the offensive game out of control of the Siena Saints. They have just totally disrupted what they're doing offensively, and Siena's not made, I don't believe, the adjustment they need to make defensively to stop the drive.
In the first 2 games the Saints played, they had 5 players in double figures in the first game, 4 yesterday, and right now they only have the 1. That's only with the 12. It touched on the end line.
Well, Saints have to do something because you don't want to get back. You want to get this game down to 5 or 6 points. You don't want to play at 8 or 10.
And they're staying after him with the press.
They've got him all over the court.
Roscoe did not see Johnston. She was wide open. Penetration by Anderson. Nice shovel. Johnston saw in her vision Jansone.
Well, the difference that Walters makes in the paint, and I don't believe he'll bring her back until the 8-minute mark because you don't want her to pick up her 5th foul.
Shetting free for 3. Mason, she's a radar tracking device for the basketball.
She wants the board today.
Up and under by Sarah Sangar.
Everybody's getting in the act. Sangar has had to sit for a while, and she comes up big on that rebound.
46-34. Still plenty of time left. It is intense in this building, defensively, especially on both sides.
She's just playing old school basketball. Sanger going to have her problems inside, and Siena has recognized that now.
They threw over top. Back-to-back buckets by Jansone. Cuts it back to a 10-point deficit. Siena won the MAAC championship 2 years ago in Buffalo by beating Fairfield in a close game, won by 2, and then losing last year at home to St. Peter's. Jaspers in championship games have won 3 of 4. Long range by Sheddick. Boy, if she was hitting the outside shot,
it wouldn't be a ball game.
Really. On the break, it's Anderson.
Now, right there, you know, I think that Siena, when Anderson is 1-on-3, she has to make better decisions. She has to bring that ball back out. Now, you know you have an advantage with Sanger inside now, and you know Jansson will get the ball. Bring it back out, Erica, and try to get the ball inside and play an organized kind of offense. Don't drive at this team. You're not going to be successful.
Anderson's been held at 23 points in the first meeting against Manhattan. She shot 1 of 14 from the field. They scramble. 2-on-2. Shorty Reed had time to shoot. Too much by Shorty.
It looks like the tempo is really favoring Manhattan. If you take a look here, you see a 2-on-2 game. Shorty Reed gets possession, going out, coming down, 2-on-2, goes back and forth, inside, looks like schoolyard basketball. Shorty Reed comes, takes the shot, doesn't make it. There's a scramble. Shorty Reed tries to pick it up.
It fell over for Jolene Johnston. She has 8 in the ball game. Penny says settle down.
But Kenny's been quiet now for the last 3 possessions, and she needs to get back involved in the offense. Siena really sagging now. Good move on their part.
The shovel for Mason, and the finish.
Great pass that Kenny makes.
On Sunday, using time off the inbound. Boschko got clipped.
Boschko, it's interesting now that the Siena players are trying to do it all on their own. And the thing that brought them here was good team basketball, and they really have to get back to that. They are really in this game. They don't have to get it all back. There are 11 minutes left, and you're looking as if they were playing it with 2 minutes left on the clock.
I think the pressure's rattling a little bit.
I do. I think the defense has taken them right out of where they wanted to be. And it's so uncharacteristic that Boschko gets to the foul line. She's been so very, very quiet. She's just 7 points. She's 3 for 8 from the floor. She has a half dozen rebounds, but this is the second 2-shot foul shot she has missed.
And a walk on Boschko, even though she got the missed free throw back. 11 minutes and 26 seconds remaining regulation. A 10-point game here in Trenton as the Jaspers lead it. Mascots getting involved. So fun time here. We'll be back after this on the MAAC Television Network. It's a good game. Women's coach. Very good. Manhattan by 10 here in the championship game of the MAAC tournament. And this weekend, the MAAC recognized several different people. And one of the awards given out was the MAAC Women's Coach of the Year. Playoffs yesterday by the Siena team as they scored a whopping 91 points. That's not the story here today. They've been held to 38 with 11:22 left in the ball game.
And shooting just 41% in the game and 33% in the half. Playing a little zone now, really challenging Manhattan's ability to shoot the outside shot.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. They're going to run themselves out. And with the ball not drawing the iron, we got a shot clock violation.
I think the zone move was a good move on Siena's part. Force them to shoot from the outside. You're getting killed against the drive, and your players just aren't quick enough today to defend the drive. So make them shoot from outside. Last chance for the seniors on this team for the Saints.
Yansone was getting roughed up in the post by Sangar.
And that's about the only way she's going to stop her today is to beat her up, because Yansone's, has 16.7 boards in 26 minutes of play. She shot 100% from the free throw line, is 7 of 9 from the floor. You have got to find a way to get this girl the ball, and if it slows down your offense, well, so be it. She's the only player really that's been doing the job. This is an interesting decision coming up right now. Getting Walters back in the game with 10 minutes left on the clock with 4 fouls. So Walters has done a much better job against Yansone, and I think Coach feels that he has to get her back in the game. But if Walters goes, then you'll see Yansone's name all over the scoreboard.
17 today for her.
That's her first miss from the foul line.
With 10.5 left, Manhattan 48, Siena 39.
And just standing in a 2-3 now, challenging their ability to shoot the outside shot. Manhattan, not a great outside shooting team.
Kraft on the rip, Reed's back. And Reed disrupted her enough to throw her off.
Yeah, and Kraft probably should have just picked the ball up and waited for her teammates to come down. And that's what Siena is not doing. Everybody's trying to do it all themselves. Doesn't work.
That's contrary to what they've done all season.
Absolutely.
Team ball has been their motto.
Yeah, and I think people can want it so badly that it really takes you out of your game.
Johnston was trailing. Tried to push it too much inside.
I think they're caught in between now. They're caught in between slowing it down and running. And now they're going to make a few mistakes until they get themselves in a mindset team that simply says, we're going inside with this basketball. Hey, let's get Walters out of this ball game. Challenge her. She can't block your shots now. She's not going to take that chance. She's got 4.
She's sitting next to South Escalia. She can't block any shots.
She can't do a thing.
She flashes to the post.
Well, they need her in there against the zone so they can rebound out of her.
Kilkenny.
And wouldn't you know, Kilkenny steps up and says, okay, you don't think I can shoot? I'm going to smile all the way to the bank here.
First time Manhattan's made a 3 in a ball game. It was timely. It pushes it back to a 12-point lead. Boschko on the rotation. Christine Bach. Usually goes about 26 minutes a game. Started today. Kilkenny saw a little bit of a gap. 14-point advantage now.
Kilkenny is putting up MVP numbers. Just look at her play this game today. She is on fire.
Glad we highlighted her in the opening.
I think we picked the right player.
Too much for the Kilkenny that time.
You see here Manhattan needing to shoot well against the zone. And who does it come from? Siobhan Kilkenny just lights it up. She's done everything a coach could ask a player to do in a game to win a championship.
22 points yesterday against Canisius, along with 9 boards.
I believe she has 19 now, if my stats are correct, but I could be off by a point or 2.
17 actually. You got to look way up here at the scoreboard. And Johnston makes either. 53-41, Jaspers. Jaspers now go with Sheddick along with Mason. Bach joins him. Kilkenny and Walters.
And they're playing a triangle in 2 right now. We're defending the shooters and playing the diamond against everyone else. All kinds of different looks.
And so they block the entry pass. Walters travel. They've got Kraft really shadowing Kilkenny, and she chased her from the midcourt line to under the iron.
Well, I think the 2 shooters that they're concerned with when they play the zone, they're concerned with Shedding and they're concerned with Kilkenny. So what they've decided to do is go in a triangle in 2 and see if they can make the other 3 players play 3-on-3.
Anderson, a wild runner, and Sonny cleans it up.
Anderson's not playing within herself today. She has to get back to doing what she does well, which is distribute the basketball. Again, you see it. The big triangle inside. Very aware where Mason is.
Mason, soft look. Well, the Saints on a little bit of a run. After they got down by 14. Now they can cut it under double digits. Entry to Johnston.
And we'll see a quick timeout. Coach knows that the momentum is starting to shift a little bit.
6-0 run. Gets them back into this one with 7:29 remaining. Jaspers forced the call for the timeout.
I'll tell you, I think that the triangle and 2 Dean has made a difference. They've thrown 3 different looks on defense at them in this half. The least effective has been player to player. The most effective has been when they've sat back in the zone. I think that the move that Coach Castelli made by going to the triangle and 2 has really bothered Manhattan. Now, if they'll make adjustments now in their timeout, I think Coach is going through that now about what they need to do against this. And really, that's get the ball to Mason on the block, not at the high post, so that she can score. Walter's presence in the game hasn't been as effective with 4 fouls. She's not going to go and try to block Janson's shots. So you see now that Manhattan has to make a decision about what they're going to do against the defense. And I'll tell you what, Siena has got to get back to being smart about what they do with the basketball, not try to play one-on-one.
The first meeting back in January went to Manhattan at Siena by 18. The second meeting in Riverdale went to Siena by 12. As they split. And today is the deciding factor for the championship.
And Kraft, really unnecessary foul because Mason was dead. She wasn't going to take the ball from her, and the triangle defense did a nice job. Mason, get to the block. Eve Walters, get up top. Give the pass and high-low into Mason, and then Mason will have a field day against Janson in the block.
Leading scorer in the game has been Jansoni with 19. 17 on the board today for Kilkenny and 16 for Mason for Manhattan. 7:13 remaining regulation. Still an 8-point game with the Jaspers claiming the lead. We'll be back on the MAAC Television Network. And thanks for joining us in the finals of the 2003 EUS MAAC Women's Basketball Tournament. Jaspers lead, a little over 7 minutes left there by 8. This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC Properties, a division of Host Communications Incorporated.
Now, Kilkenny has played every minute of this ball game, and she's going to continue to play every minute of this ball game, as has Mason.
Yeah, they went each 20 minutes in that first half and haven't come out here in the second.
Janson and Boschko, same way. You stay with who brought you here in the final game.
Mason ripped down by Jansone.
That's a big board. Siena just needs to take its time here. Look inside. Walters has 4. She is not going to be effective defensively.
Saints are shooting 41% as a team. The deep one from Kraft. Jansone really roughed up Walters going for the ball.
And Walters can't push back. She knows that right now.
A chance to go to the NCAA tournament is on the line with 6:18 left. Jansone.
Wouldn't drop for her that time. But it was a good strategy on Siena's part.
Yeah, Kilkenny will back it out.
You know, you talk about the NC2A tournament, and the only way that Manhattan will get to the NC2A is to win this ball game. The RPI rating is just a little too low for them to get an invitation. They're at 98 in the RPI rating, and the team that might get there, win or lose today, is Siena. Their RPI rating is at 56. They would have won 24 ball games even with a loss today. They would stand a wonderful chance of being invited. Having 2 teams from the MAAC, it would happen for this would be 2 years ago, both Fairfield and Siena went.
Little lead there for Walters. Yeah, that was a great thing for the MAAC to place 2 teams.
And they played very well in the first rounds of play.
And look what St. Peter's did last year to Cincinnati. Took them to the extra period before being beaten by the Bearcats.
It speaks volumes for the conference. It's one of the best conferences in the East, and I'll tell you what, both these teams would represent the conference well. It would be great if both could go. I don't think Siena wants to go without a championship. Manhattan would probably end up with a WNIT bid.
Well, the matchup is so even as we presented today. Both teams 15-3 in the MAAC, co-champs in the regular season. In fact, it's the first time Manhattan had ever won a championship in the regular season. And then you look at 24 wins for the Saints, 19 for the Jaspers, and they split against each other. And the strong point there is that they went to each other's house and won.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when the committee looks at inviting teams, what they do look at, too, is how a team is playing in the final stretch of the season. And both these teams have played outstanding basketball in the month of February.
Saints winning 10 in a row entering play today, and only one blemish on the record of Manhattan over the last month, and that was to the Saints. The leader of this team, Siobhan Kilkenny,
has had the tournament of her life. She is just playing just great basketball. Johnson has played really well for Siena.
One rebound away from a double-double. Reed. Walters trying to keep it, and she will.
Well, you know, credit Walters for working very, very hard with 4 fouls. She's not backing away at all.
Bosco will be hawked all the way down by Mason. Under 5 left. That's a high dribble.
Yeah, and that's something that is just frustration now. Mason's talking to her about the official, about, you know, pushing her off, and Mason's doing the job on the defensive end. They all are.
I thought the men just trash talk.
Yeah, no, I think everybody trash talks the official. Staying in this triangle really has created a different look. You see Kilkenny, Kraft is face guarding. This is one of the first touches that Kilkenny has had in the last 2 minutes.
Long skip. Shorty went up to get it. Sheddick with a heave. Not a good possession. Trailers Jansone. Bosco for the runner. She knew Walters had to back off.
And they took it to her with 8 points now with 4 minutes left in the game. Plenty of time. Boy, is it going down the wire. This is what we expected.
This is what we wanted. Walters. It's been a great tournament, as I mentioned, both the men and the women's bracket.
And now you see Mason really posting low in that block.
Walters left by her lonesome. Bosco, the race is on. And Reed on a clamp. She's demonstrative, that's for sure.
And that's the Manhattan Jaspers' 8th team foul, so actually the 9th team foul. So you're going to see Bosco at the line for a 1-on-1. Now she's not shot well today. This is a time for her to step up and do what she does best. And she usually knocks him down at a 70+% clip. Today she's struggling.
0 for 4. 7 points for Bosco, 7 boards.
And 2 key players from Manhattan find themselves with 4. Coach has opted to have Shorty Reed sit out with 3:40 left and keep Walters in.
First one down the well for Bosco. 55-48 Manhattan. You see good numbers on the regular season at 77%. 2 sweet strokes there by Bosco. 55-49 Manhattan here in the final 3:41. As Shorty Reed can't believe the call by the official as she wraps up.
This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of Pepsi. By GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. HSBC, the world's local bank. And by FYE for your entertainment, music, movies, games, and more.
Dean Darling and Cecilia DeMarco, finals of the 2003 EUS MAAC Women's Basketball Tournament. It has been a treat to call this game today. Still well in the balance, 55-49 Jaspers.
And the move that has changed the game has been a defensive move on Siena.
Johnston on the breakout. 4-point game.
You see the triangle in 2. Sheddig, the outside shooter, and Kilkenny, the outside shooter, have not been able to get the basketball. They're forcing Mason to take the ball from the foul line. She makes it on that one.
Leader by Mason. Mason has 20 here today. That was a big answer, coming right back. Will be kept down on the near end.
And you have three people that are converging on Yansone. You had Shittig, who dropped down from the post. Walters stayed behind, and Kilkenny was on the floor trying to get it from them. They all know where it's going. They want to stop it.
Anderson, nifty.
Up and under. Oh, circus move. Great hoop.
57-53 Manhattan. We'll see who the heart of the champion will be here in the final 2.5.
Well, if they can't get it to Kilkenny, they'll get it to Mason, and Mason will go to work.
Splits the double team. She got hooked, but she traveled.
I think you have a timeout here. Wouldn't be surprised if Walters comes up to the high post and you see Mason in the low block and they start to play a little high-low against this triangle. They're trying to have Mason take the ball down to the low block with the dribble. And I'll tell you, all that Siena's done is double-teamed her. What a ball game. Everything you could hope for to determine who the #1 team is in this league. You see it here, inside. Look at Erica Anderson, up and under. Mason almost gets a piece of it, falls her way. Walters is around, trying to get the rebound. Everything going Siena's way right now.
Only 6 points a day for Erica Anderson.
Well, once they started to settle, Siena started to look for the inside people. They've done all kinds of good things.
So the game reset, timeout-wise.
2:29. Shorty Reed is back in the game because, boy, 4 fouls. Come on out, play it all out, stretch it out. You have everything you can to give. You give it now.
Zone for Boschko.
And Mason has made Boschko work bringing the ball up, making her go to her left the entire time up the court.
Pop it out, it's cracked. A palm violation. Turned the ball over.
That was a nice move on Kraft's part. The official was right on it, so you have to trust that it was the right call.
When you turn that wrist, they judge it an unfair move.
That's their call. Now Kilkenny's being very, very quiet.
They give it right back.
Basketball's game mistakes in the last 2 minutes. Let's count up who makes the fewest, and that might be the team that steps away with the big trophy.
2-possession game, 57-53 Manhattan.
They're looking inside.
Yansone. The block is called.
And Kilkenny sits. And she did step over. She just came over a little late. Now, again, Yansone, a wonderful foul shooter. The whole team shoots about, you see it here. She's coming in. Yansone really working Walters hard. Kilkenny just, one more step down. She might have had it go her way.
For the 30th time this year, or in her career rather, she's had a double-double. 20 points on the day.
75% foul shooter.
And 12 boards to go along with that. 57-55. Jaspers now the pressure from the Saints. Reed breaks it.
And they're staying in that triangle in 2. And Walters is coming up to the high post. Mason needs to get down in the low block.
13 on the shot clock. 1:40 left of the game. Kilkenny for the clear out as Mason picked off Kraft, but Kilkenny couldn't get it up. Now she realizes a 3. And they blow it on a shot clock violation. The ball went out of bounds anyway.
The ball, yeah, the possession, they're not calling for the 30-second clock violation. They're calling the ball went out of bounds because Mason did hit iron when she went up. been all about defense, hasn't it?
And what a difference she's made in this one.
And Reed playing with 4.
She's having point-to-point communication with Pascala right now. Mason turning, Gansone.
Mason, the last couple of possessions, has come up short.
Saints have a chance to go ahead on a 3-ball. Trailing by as many as 14 here in the second half. Too long.
Pass extended about 4 inches beyond where Yansoni could pull it in. It was a good look because she was open. She had Walters high side with an open drop step to the basket.
Johnson trying to get the charge. 3-on-1 numbers. Walters filling, scoring.
Now take a look at Shorty Reed coming down the middle of the court. Bounce pass. Walters just lays it up. Boschko gets her hand in there, but not in time to do anything. You see it again here. Walters strong, putting the ball out there. Both Yansoni and Boschko seem to have split each other off on that.
Timeout Saints. What a beautiful lead by Reed off the bounce. Set up Walters to go airborne.
What a difference she makes when she leads at point, huh? And that kid is a player. 61% foul. Oh, let's see. Walters is a 61% foul shooter, so she'll have a work cut out for her at the line. She can really put this game out of reach for the Saints, where they have to score 3s to get back in. 41 seconds left, 4-point ball game. End up being up by 6. Boy. Now, you look at the differential in team fouls. Siena almost wants to be fouling soon, because if they don't foul and have to foul, it's just a waste of time. So you might see right away after a shot a quick foul on a steal, just because they want to get in a one-on-one situation so that they can stop the clock.
If there's a hell ball, it'll go the way of the Saints. Well, you would think that would occur here with the 5 team fouls up there right now.
Yeah, because you just don't want to have to waste time with so little seconds left on the clock. Big foul shots for Walter. One shot, so you make it a 3-point play.
5-point lead, 2-possession game. The strip by Mason. And the bump by Anderson.
It's been all about defense. Every time that Siena seems to make a charge, a guard or a Mason have stepped in and done something defensively. Now, Kilkenny's been a little quiet, but Mason's picked up the slack defensively. See it here? We'll get a chance to. You see Mason get the ball here. Shorty Reed comes out, hugs that ball, knows that it's all theirs.
She has real affection for that ball, doesn't she?
Well, she's played well today, hasn't she? She's led them at point. She's done in the first half. I thought she did a good job setting up the tempo. She really became the thruster, the driver at the point, and everybody seemed to have followed suit.
She's had some key steals in this one, and in her high school career, 892 steals.
She may be short, but she's the biggest player on the court today. And you look up here and you see 55 points to a team, holding a team that averages better than 70.
Game reset. You saw the team foul situation, so that was the 6. Double bonus. Manhattan for the 10 team fouls. Now they're going to want to back off on this a little bit, leading it by 5. A chance to add to that.
So they've played exceptionally well. Manhattan has played exceptionally well in this last 2 minutes of play. They've made fewer mistakes than Siena has on the stretch. That pass into Jansson that would have tied the game was a backbreaker. That was a momentum breaker. Kilkenny's setting something up with the official. Now they've got to just play a tight player. They can't fool around with any kind of a zone because they don't have the time.
Graf took a swipe.
Well, this is why they need to be in one-on-one now. Now they have a 7 foul. I don't know if you want Kilkenny up there. Not because she's a great foul shooter, but the kid has had ice water in her veins in the last 2 games. She's gotten up there and been the kind of player that takes you to the championship.
Kilkenny takes a deep breath. One-on-one situation. that lady right there, the Pepsi player of the game, Siobhan Kilkenny from Castlebar, Ireland. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. Just one off a double-double. She bangs 2, 7-point lead.
Just has had a great tournament.
Push ahead for Kraft. Chasing is Sheddick. Good answer by Kraft. 5-point game.
The importance of foul shooting. Sheddick gets the opportunity to set up. She is the best foul shooter that Manhattan has. She shoots 79% from the floor. She can put this at a 7-point difference, and the time then would be on Manhattan's side.
The senior from Altoona, PA, wants to live for one more day and play the big dance. Another opportunity for the Saints. Final 20 seconds. Kraft for 3. And the Jaspers will get it. Johnson made a valiant effort.
Well, we're going to find out in 11 seconds who the #1 team in the league is. And right now it's looking like it's going to be a Jasper.
We'll take a long walk and shoot.
Sheddick is going to the foul line with a smile, and Kilkenny is directing her as she gets there, telling her what she needs to do. How big is this for the program, though? Manhattan has had a situation 5 years ago with a new coach coming into the program. 5 seasons later, he's got them in the final game, about to win a championship to take them to the dance. Hats off to the coaching staff. These kids have played beyond expectations. And, Siena again sits back and looks dejected as you look down the bench, knowing that they've let one slip away.
The Jaspers were picked #2 in the preseason, just behind the Saints, but they ended up tying the Saints at 13-5 as co-champs. First time the school's ever had a championship in women's basketball. Sheddick with an exclamation point there with 9.8 seconds left. 6-point lead.
And holding the team, the Siena team, to under 60 points in a ball game is just a remarkable achievement.
The steal by Reed and the hold by Boschko with 3.2 seconds left.
And they're going to call it unintentional, and Boschko's frustration has just been displayed on that. She hasn't played her ball game where she's felt good about herself. She knows that. Reaching out and getting Reed. Reed will have 2. They'll get the ball.
That's a class move by Bascala. He wants to get his other senior in, Sanya Diedick. The first man he hugged when you saw the view of the sideline was his son and assistant coach, Charlie Bascalia.
And he goes and he hugs him again. I'll tell you, it's pretty amazing. It looks as if his son's about to cry, and I think Sal's wiping his eyes, so you know what this means.
You've been there. You know all the emotion fired up for a season.
And I can't imagine the feeling that he has that he could have his son beside him in the bench.
Reed for another.
And they've earned the right to put the #1 finger in the air. They have absolutely dominated in this ball game.
And they will have a 20-win season. They came in at 19-9.
And I'll tell you what, Siena Boschko going to the bench just in tears, knowing that she just didn't play well enough to finish her season off the way she wanted to. Perhaps she will get a chance to play one more game or a few more games in NC2A. We certainly hope so.
Kilkenny will dribble it out, give it up to Wilson, and this one goes to the book, a championship.
And Reed just did a double jump in the middle of the court. Take a look at the excitement, and this has got to be a special moment.
You saw how bad the Saints feel. The elation from the Jaspers. Their 4th MAAC championship in 5 tries. So for Cecilia DeMarco and our entire MAAC television crew, this has been a real treat. The final score, Manhattan over Siena, 65-57, as they celebrate in Trenton. The Saints brought their best, but today it wasn't enough as Shorty Reed led the charge for the Jaspers. They were dancing in the stands at the Sovereign Bank Arena. Kilkenny had a wonderful game. Christine Baca Sr. and Boschko has just played possibly her last game. For Cecilia DeMarco and the entire MAAC television crew, I'm Dean Darling saying thanks for joining us today. Once again, our final score from here in Trenton. Manhattan 65, Siena 57. Congratulations to the Manhattan Jaspers. They are the 2003 MAAC Women's Champion. So long, everybody.